reaching out to me and having the conversation yesterday on the phone. I want to talk a little bit about big tech. I think some of these big tech platforms are using their market dominance to infringe on intellectual property rights of smaller businesses that really don't have the resources to fight back. So give me an idea of what steps, if any, your agency's taken to ensure that these dominant players are not taking advantage of their scale, not honoring the copyright, or I should say the intellectual property protections in the ecosystem. What, if anything, have you done, or what should you do?
Yeah, we take very seriously concerns, including from smaller market participants that have now become dependent on dominant intermediaries and gatekeepers, about the ways in which those gatekeepers can use that power. We've also heard about instances in which they're able to use the access that they have to the information of the smaller market participants to basically copy, surveil their products. This is something that we have alleged in our lawsuits in the past as well, and something that we continue to look at closely, especially when these types of tactics can be used to acquire or maintain monopoly power.
Mm-hmm. The FTC issued 6B orders in December 2020, I believe, to 9 social media and video streaming companies. We haven't heard anything back. It's been about 21 months. So what have you learned?
Yeah, this was a study that was initiated in my predecessor. It was extremely broad, sweeping, covering a whole set of issues, very comprehensive. It is ongoing.
When would you expect a report?
We're pushing our team to get something to us as quickly as possible. As you know, these firms don't have an incentive to readily provide information to us, and so we're doing what we can to expedite this, and we'd be happy to see if we can provide you and your team a update, including any non-public information that might be relevant.
Do you see the report or the information that you gathered informing the FTC's recent privacy rulemaking?
Absolutely, and as much as there are key
examples?
Issues of overlap. So, the 6B looked in particular at social media companies and particular practices that they deploy, including relating to advertising, including to kids. Those are all issues that are relevant to how we think about data privacy.
FTC voted 4-0 to block Illumina's acquisition of cancer startup test Grail, companies called Grail, but they lost in the court. 5 days later, the European Commission blocked the merger. Some have suspected coordination between the FTC and the European Commission. Can you tell me whether or not you or any of the FTC commissioners have coordinated or communicated with European Commission? The European Commission's taking up the merger as we speak. We're waiting on a decision from them, but does that interaction occur, or did it occur in this specific instance?
Yeah, so this is another one of these matters that's currently pending in our in-house administrative proceedings, so I need to be very careful about what I say. But as a general
I don't want
matter,
you to speak on the merits of the argument.
Understood.
I'm just more curious about the communication with your EU counterparts.
Yeah, so we, as a general matter, do have really strong relationships with our enforcement partners. Ultimately, we are all making independent assessments and determinations about whether a particular transaction is unlawful. Each of our jurisdictions is governed by different legal standards as well as different procedures. So while we do coordinate in order to promote efficiency and streamlining the investigative process, ultimately each of us is making independent determinations.
So in this particular transaction, is it accurate to say that there have been discussions between the EU and the FTC on this specific transaction, the Illumina transaction?
I believe our staff in the past have been in touch as the investigations were ongoing. I know there was a bit of a time lag in terms of when our team started looking at this. This is something that was voted out before I arrived, but my understanding is among the matters on which there had been enforcement cooperation and collaboration, this is one of those.
Well, we were just curious because I think it was 5 days later the EU blocked the merger. 5 days after you all lost in court, they blocked the merger. It looks very close. I'll leave it at that. And I'm out of time. I've got a couple of other questions I'll submit for the record.